when there's so much greeting, it seems people like each other. It's just lots of friendliness. I like that. We have more service, everybody. We're going to keep going. How lucky are we? Most people in this room received a letter or email this week, but for anyone who didn't or who is visiting, after 12 years here at UUCA, Senior Minister Reverend Anthony Makar has accepted a position as Senior Minister at West Shore UU Church near Cleveland, Ohio. Anthony is one of my closest and dearest friends. As a colleague, I will miss creating life-changing and life-affirming worship with him. As a chosen family member, I will miss spending holidays together. And as a friend, I deeply understand his desire for a fresh life start in a new place. Though why anyone would voluntarily move to Ohio, I'll never know. Sorry. I apologize to everyone from Ohio for this and the rest of my speech. Yes. I have had a little more time to digest this information than most. Some may still be in shock. My constant and unrelenting optimism helps me move from shock, grief, anger, sadness into gratitude pretty quickly. Sometimes, like right now, we can feel all those emotions all at the same time. When we lose a loved one, it is possible to grieve their passing, to mourn their loss, and to be incredibly grateful for all they brought to our lives. So I ask again, how lucky are we? The average tenure of a minister in the United States is 5 to 7 years. Unitarian Universalists do a little bit better. It's 6 to 8 years. And for the past 12 years, our congregation, our community, our city, and our faith tradition have been blessed by our brilliant and visionary senior minister. But, yeah. But it's not time for a retrospective just yet. We still have several months of Anthony's sermons, of his teaching, of his high-pitched laugh, and his very colorful socks before we have to say goodbye. They're electric guitars this morning, if you want to look closely. Aw, me too, Z. People told me last night and both this morning that there was some news on Facebook that Don has been looking for other jobs and will be following Anthony out the door, and I want to squash that rumor. Yes. and for us to know, it's not time for that yet, and for us to know that as we grieve together and we take our grief to social media, which is fine, that we are gentle with each other, that we don't voice our sad opinions and let that turn into rumors, which turns into discord. We want to be gentle and kind with each other. So a couple years ago, 2 of the largest UU congregations both had openings at music director, and they both recruited me heavily. When you love a job as much as I love this job, there is nothing wrong with hearing an offer. And so it'd have to be pretty great to get me out of here. And so I did go to those congregations and work with their choirs and lead worship there. And I was offered a $15,000 raise and better benefits to go somewhere else. And I chose to stay here in Atlanta. To stay here and be with you. Yeah. I own a house here. I own a business here. I am very involved in the artistic community in this place. I conduct the Atlanta Gay Men's Chorus. I have many things keeping me in Atlanta, and I'm happy to be here with you. We, as a congregation, will continue to thrive. This pulpit where I now stand is storied. It is impactful. This pulpit is one of the most prestigious posts in all of Unitarian Universalism. We know that we will have a slew of amazing candidates to fill it. And the next senior minister that we call will continue to enrich our lives, to enrich our community, and to enrich our city. I hope that each and every one of you gets a chance to tell Anthony how lucky we have been to have him in Atlanta for 12 long years. How fortunate we all are that on our varied spiritual paths, we got to converge for a while. I know that I am a better, more knowledgeable, more worldly, more justice-minded, and more understanding human being because I've listened to every sermon Anthony has given for the past 11 years, most of them twice. I can't imagine how different my life would have been if Anthony hadn't taken a risk on hiring a 24-year-old to be this congregation's first full-time music director. He did that. We are so lucky. We can be grateful, and we can be sad, and we can know that just like a building isn't a congregation, a minister is not a congregation. The congregation itself, our members, our people are the magic. We have been so lucky that for 12 years, Reverend Makar led our community through hard times and crisis, through celebrations and victories. His stamp will forever be on UUCA. And when he goes to Ohio, his stamp will be there too, and Ohio needs it. Apologies to the state of Ohio. Of the literally hundreds of unique sermons I have heard Anthony preach, one that I recall very often in my life is a sermon he gave about luck. He talked about a psychological study that people who believe they are lucky are correct, and people who believe they are unlucky are correct. It was a sermon about the power of perspective, both on your current mood and on future outcomes. Let us use these next few months to remember our great fortune, and together we will continue to create the congregation of our dreams. We will continue to journey together. We will continue to love the hell out of this world and be the congregation that this world needs. And now, I'm going to ring that bell, and we're going to sing together, Spirit of Life.